I know it's just a me think, but a lot of modern levels just don't click with me as much as older ones do. Even though I've only been playing since very early 2.1. Only. I haven't been up to date with any of the popular 2.2 levels, or even the new gauntlets, which I have not touched at all. Mainly because 2.2 levels have just never interested me. In fact, the only levels made in 2.2 that I have any recollection of playing were 2005 Landshark, a Berry, Node, Split Frequency, Thing 4, the Golden Hope remake, and that's all I can really think of right now. I mean, I've definitely tried a couple others, like Heinz's 2 or 3 platformer levels that he had already deleted by now. But if you notice, these are all either modern remakes of older styles, like a Berry is a modern Heinz style level. 2005 Landshark is Devon style level with 2.2 features thrown into it. And then the Robot Chief levels, Thing 4 and Node and Split Frequency, are all just 1.9 GTPS levels. From 2.1, there isn't really a whole lot for me that from like all the more modern stuff that have been released. Stuff like Napalm, Sedulous, I Spy with My Little Eye, Future Funk and its sequel, Butiti 2 and 3, Layak, Zodiac, Ocular Miracle, Change of Scene, whatever. They look cool and all, and I'm definitely not ignoring the effort put into making these levels, but personally there are older levels that I think not only look more appealing, but also manage to engage a more powerful atmosphere. And for me, there's one level in particular that would rule them all. Dem Travel by Supat. The most popular XL levels you'd hear about are like Jonathan's levels or whatever. I don't know, I just feel like most people are just gonna say Dark Odyssey or Future Funk as their favorite XL. Or probably something else I don't know about, like Comatose by Ripley, I guess, I don't know. But there's nothing that would stand a chance against Dem Travel for me. I wrote a little something a month ago on Sir Punch's video of his own level, and it went like this. 8 years of laughter, 8 years of joy, 8 years of nostalgia, 8 years of memories. No other level can or will ever replicate what Dem Travel was and is to me. Nothing by a monolith. Lonely Travel comes pretty close, and that level also has a special place in my heart, but nothing would top Dem Travel. So what is it about this level? Well, the first thing that got me was the music, which has still been stuck in my head for the past 2-3 years. The song, I think, speaks a lot for the level, not just as a level, but as an experience. This level is like a time capsule, showcasing just how far you could go with using exactly the maximum 30,000 objects available, and an editor with much less of the abundance of utility that 2.2 or even 2.1 has to offer. And the end result, I think, is just beautiful. In many ways, these restrictions have made for levels that were more unique, more memorable, and sometimes even more thought-provoking. And Dem Travel is a shining example of this. The gameplay is not the best in the world, I will admit. But Serbi's gameplay, not just in Dem Travel, but his other levels, like Gold Temple or Insanity, there's something about his gameplay that stands out. It hits a certain spot of awkwardness, but not enough to cause so much annoyance. For me, there's a similar case of this when I look at Spectrum Switch by Heinz and Black, Low Death by Carmel and Wickwood, Night Rush by Jenkins, Luminum by Zobros, Cement by Heather Hayes, some others as well. Their gameplay just has a peculiar sense of sometimes awkwardly specific demands, while trying not to be too merciless, for lack of better phrasing. But once you get into their terms, that's when they start to be really fun levels. Well, that's what I think at least. Say what you want about Dem Travel. I know some people think its gameplay is boring. Its effects are maybe ugly, or they just don't like the song, and that's perfectly okay. For me, no hundred thousands of objects can and will ever replicate how simple yet meticulously crafted Dem Travel turned out to be. A level with charmingly quirky and nuanced gameplay, matched with stunning visual effects created within the limitations of the 2.0 editor, and of course, the perfect song to represent all of it in a final bow. All of this to create an experience like no other. And that's the most beautiful part about Dem Travel that puts it in a special place in my heart. And there's nothing that anybody else can make that would change my mind. Not even Lonely Travel, which I too absolutely adore. But nothing can truly capture Dem Travel's atmosphere, effects, and eccentric sense of gameplay, which I think in some ways really adds for more memorability in not only Dem Travel, but other levels as well. Of course, if they aren't too annoying. Looking at Lonely Travel, a lot of what I've said about Dem Travel can be said the same about this too. I really like its song and the level's effects. My most favorite being the part where it looks like you're in an old movie. And I appreciate the detail that was put into that part that gives it more authenticity. But there's something about Dem Travel that just hits differently, you know? Something about the colorful wave part after the auto cube section that just hits me harder than it should. That wave part. Sometimes watching it or listening to the music is able to put me a bit into tears, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. The background effects look absolutely amazing, and there's something about it being a bit of a spammy wave part that just adds to its charm. I don't know what it is, I just love it to bits. Sometimes I find myself alone and I just sit and think about life while playing that part of the song and imagining that wave part in my head. And there's something about it that I just think is that beautiful. Aside from that wave, I absolutely adore the first drop and its electric effects. Spend a moment to take in its colorful effects from top to bottom as structures pop into the scene. It has some more of the nuances in gameplay that I alluded to earlier, and I do think that it makes the drop more memorable to me. It plays at half speed, well almost the entire level does for that matter, but I think it really does help to truly appreciate the little things, not just within this level, but also in life. And you know, a lot of things scare me. I'm scared of a lot of things that I shouldn't be for my age right now, and I can't help it. But it's during those tough times that I like to look back at Dem Travel. In many ways, it's just extremely comforting for me to look at, to listen to play through, and when I do, I always end up with the feeling that everything is going to be okay, no matter what happens. Perhaps the most touching message that this level is able to convey to me is that no matter how little that you have left, you can always make the most of it and have a great time. And that is precisely what Dem Travel has succeeded to do.